You have a warrant. No, hey, why are you opening the door for? Why open? Why? Do you have a warrant?
Who called you to come here? Oh, so you're just out, just roaming around, just cruising, looking for...
Okay, here we go again. Every single day, we keep seeing brand new clips like the ones we're about to watch coming out of Illinois, where people are asking Border Patrol agents, hey, do you have a warrant? Not understanding that Border Patrol doesn't need a warrant if they're conducting operations in public.
Now that judge has entered a temporary restraining order demanding better treatment for those detained at Broadview.
Yeah, so this is a very big deal. I think you guys have all seen the protest at the Chicago ICE facility, known as the Broadview ICE facility. A judge has officially ordered that the inside of the facility needs to be cleaned up. And I wouldn't be surprised if this gets used against the Trump administration. We will get to that later in the video. Stick around for that because it's a huge story. So we have a lot to dig into. Now before we start the video, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, and it also helps others see the videos as well.
You have a warrant. No, hey, why are you opening the door for? Why open? Why? Do you have a warrant?
We don't need a warrant.
What's your name? Can I have your name and badge number, please?
Sierra 327.
What's your name?
Sierra 327.
Bro, your name?
You don't need my name.
Alright, you don't need my name either.
Yeah, I do.
For what reason?
I'm just asking. If
Yeah, I mean, I'm asking too, man.
Where were you born?
Hey, where you taking him?
Where were you born?
I was born here, buddy.
You were born here?
Yeah, fuck out my way. Hey, don't say I'm saying. Hey, don't fucking touch me.
No, leave him alone.
Why?
You leave him alone.
Don't fucking touch me, bro. Don't fucking touch
You
me.
leave him alone.
Hey,
You
what's
have
your
to stay
name?
back.
What's your name? What's your name? Hey, yo, fucking warrant. Show me a fucking warrant.
To this day, people still do not understand that Border Patrol, ICE, Homeland Security, they do not need a warrant when operating in the public. In fact, on the ICE website, the #1 question is, why does ICE arrest people and do they need a warrant? And obviously, ICE does not need a judicial warrant to make arrest. Like all other law enforcement officers, ICE officers and agents can initiate consensual encounters and speak with people, briefly detain aliens when they have reasonable suspicion.
Why not? Why not? You need a fucking warrant to get my fucking uncle. Hey, don't fucking touch me. Why the fuck are you pushing me? I'm not fucking touching you. I'm not touching you, buddy.
Stay back.
I'm not touching you, buddy. What's your name, too?
Right there.
Your name, buddy. I'm not asking for a fucking
I don't have
number.
to give you my name.
Yes, you do.
No.
You're asking for our name, too.
I don't have to
For
give
my
you a name.
protection and my uncle's protection. What's your
I
name?
don't have to give you my name.
What's your name, sir? Excuse me, sir. What's your name? Tío, ahorita lo arreglamos. What's your name, sir? Yeah, go ahead. Let me see a picture of you too. Let me see. What's your name? What's your name? Cause you took my uncle out on a fucking car with a fucking warrant. What's your fucking name?
Okay, another reason why I like making these videos is to show the other side of the story. Right now in the Chicago area, Border Patrol is being portrayed as the most evil regime ever. They just throw tear gas, they're gassing everything. But when I started making these videos, you'll notice that Border Patrol is way more tolerant when you watch the raw footage. I mean, it isn't until they're surrounded by protesters and rocks are being thrown at them, that's when they engage the protesters. So here's another classic example of what we're seeing in the Chicago area: non-compliance. Even if you are not an illegal immigrant, it is better for you to comply so you don't get federal charges. In fact, even advocacy groups in the Chicago area would say, if you are an illegal immigrant, just comply and then we can fight it in the courts. We can maybe save you from a deportation. But check this out.
Kind of nervous, and I know you guys are... So ICE is taking him?
Yes, we are. We have one.
Baby, espérate. Wait, can I get his phone? Can I get his personal stuff? Okay. Baby, espérate, te van a llevar. But you guys didn't... Well, okay, can I... Wait. Can I tell you something, guys? Can I tell you?
He's not cooperating. Look, it's a lawful order for us to tell him to step out of the vehicle. He's refusing to step out of the vehicle, so now we have to escort him out of the
He's
vehicle.
gonna get a discharge.
Okay, but can I ask you a question, though? Can I ask you?
He's not complying with our orders. I'm a lawful officer asking.
Okay, but I'm a USA citizen and I could ask you guys questions. I could ask you questions. Did you guys, dame tus cosas, baby. Bájate y voy a hacer.
And real quick, before we continue, make sure to please subscribe to my channel so I can keep you up to date with stories just like this. And make sure to use the QR code if you're watching this on TV. You can just use your cell phone, scan the QR code, and that's that's an easier way to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much. So you'll notice in the video, the federal agents are explaining, no, we are officers, this is a lawful order. And this has been an uphill battle for the Trump administration. When you have politicians demonizing Homeland Security and saying they're snatching people off the streets, you'll notice specifically in sanctuary cities when we watch these videos, almost not believing that Homeland Security can do this job, or dismissing the validity of what Homeland Security is allowed to do. In fact, let me show you.
We don't ever have any type of drama, fights. There's no gang members. You gotta, who triggered you to come here? Who called you to come here? Oh, so you're just out, just roaming around, just cruising, looking for.
If you're performing your job, where are you performing your job? Exactly where? What address? What area? Just point it out.
Look, you guys have to understand, within sanctuary cities or states, people were always told this was not going to happen. We are a sanctuary. If you're an illegal immigrant, you can be here. You won't get deported. The local police cannot work with Border Patrol, Homeland Security, and deportations. And now that it's happening right in the public and there's nothing the sanctuary state can do, this is why we keep seeing more and more clips like this.
And we'll let you do your job. That is fine, sir.
Their dogs are gonna be scared to come here to walk their fucking dogs. Yeah, I'm asking you directly as a person, very respectfully, why are you here? Because my son comes here.
And then this person just shows up with a camera.
And so if my son was here, he would be witnessing this. Why?
Who are we interviewing, taking down?
Oh, maybe that person over there is the one that called. Look, the one talking over there. Maybe that's a neighbor that called and complained about something.
There's more behind this.
Can you help me understand?
This is part of an investigation. We're not investigating.
This is part of an investigation outside of ICE?
We're not a part of ICE.
So you're here on a completely different, so that is good that you clarified that. Have you clarified that for everybody else asking you?
Everybody else is not asking for
Okay, so you...
Okay, so now we're going to cover this Broadview story, and again, I think this is probably going to be used against the Trump administration in the very near future.
Yeah, those conditions so deplorable, multiple witnesses broke down on the stand describing what they say they experienced at the Broadview facility. The judge in this case comparing some of those conditions to a concentration camp.
So off the bat right there, the fact that the judge is comparing it to one of the worst places on earth, not good.
Now that judge has entered a temporary restraining order demanding better treatment for those detained at Broadview. After hearing disturbing testimony from detainees held at Broadview describing squalid and inhumane conditions with no access to hygiene products, showers, blankets, beds, medical care, attorneys, and little access to food and water, Judge Robert Gettleman issued a temporary restraining order. It requires the Department of Homeland Security to issue clean bedding to detainees with enough space to sleep, to clean holding cells twice a day, give detainees soap, towels, and hygiene products, showers at least every other day, clean toilet areas, adequate meals and water, along with private calls with attorneys. Agents are forbidden from misrepresenting the contents of any papers they provide to detainees, and papers must be provided in English and Spanish.
Now, here's where things get interesting. When it comes to livable standards and quality of life, are we talking about how the judge feels this should be, or are we talking about how the US government feels it should be, which is why you guys should probably subscribe to my channel, because I want to keep you up to date with this story, because if the ICE agents are following the US government protocols, I mean, they're technically not in the wrong here, even if that quality of life is a lot lower than a lot of us would expect.
Judge Robert Gettleman saying, quote, "I found the witnesses presented yesterday highly credible. People shouldn't be sleeping next to overflowing toilets. They shouldn't be sleeping on top of each other. They shouldn't be sleeping on plastic chairs, on concrete floors."
The judge very quickly determined that the conditions at the Broadview ICE facility were unconstitutional, disgusting, and were unacceptable.
And so I think you guys understand why this is a very big deal. Now this gives validity to the state of Illinois that, hey, a judge has said the inside of the Broadview facility is absolutely trash, it's destroyed, it's inhumane, and this gives more validity to the protesters, or more motivation to show up and say, hey, our protesting is working, our protesting has been legit, it turns out the inside of the facility is terrible and inhumane. Again, we have to look at this from the practical perspective and the political perspective when it comes to all things Chicago mission.
Plaintiffs also asking for video footage from inside of Broadview from the last 6 months, some of which DHS says is missing.
It is pretty wild to me that there is missing footage from the 19th of October to the 31st of October, and that covers the time our clients were in Broadview.
Tonight, after the restraining order was issued, Chopper 7 saw a group of detainees appearing to leave the Broadview facility, which could be connected to the new space requirements for sleeping.
Now, Homeland Security is denying any of this is even true. We'll get to that in a second, but I just want to show you guys, this is why the Trump administration has been wanting to purchase new facilities as far as detention facilities or holding cells. Because the Trump administration has made it very clear for 2026, they're going to ramp up operations as far as deportations, which means you need facilities to hold illegal immigrants. And if the Broadview facility is already too small to cooperate with the mission that's occurring in Chicago, obviously lawyers were going to be able to figure out we can maybe get this to a judge and exploit what's happening inside of Broadview.
Now, that temporary restraining order is in effect for 14 days. The government is expected to comply with it by this Friday at noon. DHS has denied any allegations of subpar living conditions at the Broadview facility.
Now look, I already know what a lot of you are thinking. I mean, for anyone who's ever been in prison or jail, I mean, if you've ever seen a prison documentary, what the judge is describing is what you could probably point out in a lot of different government detention spaces. The fact that this is specifically happening in Chicago is pretty common of what we're seeing in Chicago, especially with judicial orders based off of Homeland Security operations, considering we have a judge who's trying to dictate how Homeland Security deploys their tear gas. So understand, to the Trump administration, this is clearly an attack from a judge, or as the Trump administration would say, an activist judge. And Homeland Security, I don't think is going to fight this. I think they're just going to clean up the facility and point out the fact that, hey, we have livable conditions according to the U.S. government. Now, if a judge wants to create his own livable conditions, he can do that, but according to our standards, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Now, I do want to point out, lawmakers have conducted oversight visits into Broadview. Even before this outcry against the Trump administration and these deportations, Broadview has been a functioning facility for quite some time. I'm not going to go into the history of Broadview, but it's been around for a while. And up until recently, October, this is when we're hearing the worst of the worst inside of Broadview, yet when you look into the historical aspect of Broadview and doing oversight visits, it was never that bad. So when we have Homeland Security saying nothing is bad, and then you have a judge and lawyer saying everything is bad, at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you guys to decide how you feel about it. Like all things politics, like all things policies we've been following with this Chicago mission. You probably didn't hear that, but she said, do you have a warrant? Again, we're now circling back to the clips we've been watching every single day. Do you have a warrant? And this is in Chicago.
What was the answer about the warrant?
They don't have one.
So what's the basis for the detainment?
You can't take him out of his car without a warrant.
And I will say, this has been happening for a long time. When I first started covering these videos, this was all the way back in May, not specifically in Chicago, but around the country. People kept walking up to Homeland Security, ICE agents saying, hey, where's your warrant? Now, the debate today is not about the warrant. The debate today is how you might obtain the evidence to see whether or not someone is an illegal immigrant, or what advocacy groups will say is that Homeland Security will lure illegal immigrants onto public property and try to detain them or arrest them. That's where the drama gets into, or the debate. We're not going to talk about that today, but again, this video is a little more educational. You do not need a warrant when you do public operations.
Hello? What are you guys doing?
They're taking this person from his vehicle. They're kidnapping someone. I don't know why.
Take this person without a warrant. You know this is illegal. What are you
You should be ashamed of you.
Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, the intentions behind my video is to have a peaceful dialogue come together and point out some issues with sanctuary city statuses. I mean, we have more and more people questioning literally federal agents who have the jurisdiction to do the job you're seeing on camera. And when it comes to warrants, you do not need a warrant on public property. Do you need a warrant to just walk into private property? Absolutely. But then again, we get into the fine details of if you were on public property and you ran away into private property, you can still be followed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here. And again, I always advocate for peace on my channel. I always try to be as fair as possible. And thank you guys so much. God bless, and we'll see you all later.